So one thing we've learned is the Big 12 and the ACC are just not going to get along with the Big 10 and the SEC. So what's next? I'll tell you. Locked On Big 10 starts right now.
You are Locked On Big 10, your daily podcast on the Big 10 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big 10. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below while you're watching. You'll never miss an episode. Plus, we'll also ask you to share, like, and follow. That helps us out as well. Always appreciate the help. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKDOWNCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So a fight for power between the Power Fours. We'll get into that here. It's a big, big topic. We've got softball and baseball updates and some recruiting news you don't want to miss. And speaking of you don't want to miss, Tuesday tweets. They're fantastic. Got a special one right at the end. Hang on for that. In the meantime, all the recent Power Four conference meetings that have been going on have revealed that the best interests of each conference are not in line with the best interests of college football as a whole. Two separate schisms are going on here, happening right before our very eyes. First, it's clear that the Power Fours, the Big 10, the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC want very little to do with the NCAA. And can you blame them? The conferences want more control. They want to regulate themselves. They want to discipline themselves. They want to handle everything from money, name, image, and likeness, revenue share, discipline, all these things. They want to handle it. The NCAA, they've messed that up long enough. And NCAA President Charlie Baker seems amicable to giving up the power. Frankly, I think he's tired of the hassle. Although we will argue that the NCAA hasn't been doing anything at all over the past decade because it has failed miserably to get on top of transfer portal issues. That just kind of happened. And name, image, and likeness, also, they failed to get on top of that. And it is blown up to what it is right now. Things have spun out of control. And that's the reason that the world of college sports is as complicated and ever-changing as it is today. It's almost impossible to keep up with unless you tune into a podcast like Locked On Big 10 every single day. Thank you for that, by the way. The NCAA failed to do its job. They just put their head in the sand, and they ignored the fast and furious issues of the day, and they just cling to the precious old-timey days where it believed that college athletics was about student athletes just trading their athletic services for a scholarship and a 4-year degree. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Wrong. They clung to the notion of student athlete, the student part of student athlete. Meanwhile, the athletes were more concerned with the business side. They were becoming professional college athletes before our very eyes. And all the while, big business got bigger and bigger for the Power Four conferences, and they can no longer let the NCAA hold them back. These conferences can't let the NCAA hold them back. So they're on their own. They're doing their own thing and taking control of the whole operation. I mean, there are hundreds of millions of dollars at stake every single year. So now that the Power Fours have begun their divorce proceedings from the NCAA, now they have to figure out what they all want and how they're going to all work together. And we got to ask, are the Power Fours on the same page? It is clear they are not. Not all conferences are created equal. One needs to look no further than the Big Ten's superior TV media rights deals, better than anybody's. It will not be long before all Big Ten schools receive $100 million a year for media rights. We're heading that way. You can project it on out. The SEC is not far behind. The Big 12 deal, it's kind of in the middle of the road. And the ACC deal is an absolute ripoff. And that conference is locked into that thing till 2036. It's embarrassing. I know they just did a settlement. It's going to improve some things for the higher marquee teams, but it's not good enough. And stuck with it till 2036. Other conferences are going to redo their deals and get even more money before the ACC teams can get a chance. We've talked about this at length on this podcast, and we actually think some of these schools are going to leave the ACC eventually. There'll be a cost point, analysis point where they're going to go, you know what, let's just pay this amount of money and go make this much money. It's going to happen. And then, of course, I don't have to remind anybody, there was once the Pac-12. They couldn't get a TV deal, and, well, they didn't make it, at least in their old form. A couple of smaller schools are getting together, trying to get the band back together again, but it'll never be the same. So moving forward, how do we split the Power 4 pie? Well, after 2025, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti and SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, they're going to have all the leverage. And the other conferences signed away their future power and leverage beyond 2025 to the Power 2, the Big Ten to the SEC, so that they wouldn't go away, wouldn't take their ball and go home and ruin it for everybody else. They gave the bullies the lunch money before they beat them up. So what basically happened, they would have got beaten up anyway. In fact, they will get beaten up anyway. The first battle, if you will, is going to be the format for the college football playoff beyond this year. They can't seem to decide on what to do. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark and ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, they have warned Sankey and Petitti that they need to do what's best for college football as a whole and not what's best for the SEC and the Big Ten. You may remember, we talked about this the other day. Sankey fired back. He didn't like to be told what to do. He wasn't going to have any of that. Sankey said he doesn't need lectures from anybody on the good of college football. But the truth be told, guys like Sankey and Petitti work for the SEC and the Big Ten, respectively. And what's best for them is to come up with a system that gives the SEC and the Big Ten the most teams in the postseason, as many teams as possible. And so that they can make the most money for their conference, for their presidents and athletic directors that employ them. Yormark's trying to be polite in all this. And he admits, look, we're going to have disagreements. We're different. That's why we have thick skin. So bring it on. Let's hash it out. But the truth is, this could get ugly this summer and fall between the Power 4 conferences. They have a self-imposed deadline to come up with a playoff format beyond this year by December 1st of this year. So right as we're getting into the playoffs for this year, they got to have a plan in place for the following year. And it remains to be seen. Are we going to have a 4-4-2-2-3-1 format? 4 automatic qualifiers from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 3 at large, and 1 for the group of 5, and then 3 at large, which one will go to Notre Dame. So again, that plan, the Big Ten and the SEC will get 4 automatic qualifiers, no matter what, even if it's an up year or down year, doesn't matter. And teams in the other conferences, the Big 12 and the ACC, they don't like that. Like, well, we're not getting as many as you guys. Why should you automatically get all these teams in every year? What if you have a down year? So they're considering another plan. And from what I hear, it seems to be getting some momentum. The 5+11 plan. That's where the 5 highest rated conference champions get spots. And then there are 11 at-large bids that a committee will put together. And that seems to be the Big 12 and the ACC preferred plan. But I warned them. Be careful what you wish for. Because I can clearly see with those 11 bids floating out there that the Big Ten and the SEC, there'll be years where those conferences will get 5 teams in the playoffs. Maybe if all the stars line up, one of those conferences will get 6 of the playoff spots. Now, you think everybody's going to be happy with that? Well, the Big Ten and the SEC will be happy. I don't know about everybody else. Look, in the end, the Big Ten and the SEC want to be as financially successful as possible, and they're going to be one way or the other. And the Big 12 and the ACC, they want to avoid ending up like the former Pac-12. That's what's coming down to right here. Love to hear your comments on it. Hit us up with all that all day long. The comments on YouTube. Hey, if I can ask you a favor, could you hit that subscribe button, please? It's free. We're making a push to 20,000 subscribers before football season. And if you don't mind, also if you could share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten so you don't ever miss a single episode. And don't forget, we have a website where we put all of our podcasts and links for you to buy merchandise for your favorite Big Ten schools right there at talkbig10.com. That's the number 10, talkbig10.com. So check that out. All right. Still more work to do here. We are going to look at baseball and softball and the Big Ten teams as things are winding down there. We've got some big recruiting news. Hey, Wisconsin, welcome to the party. We'll get to that too, among some other things. And we'll have our Tuesday tweets, which are spectacular. Hang on for that. It's all coming up in just a minute here on Locked On Big Ten. I know you've checked your banking account and go, whoa, man, my money's gone. What happened? I spent it. Where did I spend it? Well, Monarch Money can help you out with that. It helps you keep track of everything. Online shopping, entertainment. It's easy to lose track where we spend all of our money as soon as we get it. Monarch Money is your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. And it's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center right at your fingertips. You can keep track of your accounts, your investments, your spending, all in one place and help you start building wealth. Gives you a ton of insights as to where your money's going, all in one convenience. Bring all of your apps from all of your credit cards and your banks and everything all in one place. And you can pull it in from your spouse or your significant other. Total control right there, one place. No stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Thank you. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and share and follow and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. So, quick update on the women's softball World Series. We talked to you on yesterday's podcast on Monday that I had actually produced Monday's podcast late Sunday night, and UCLA had just been eliminated with a heartbreaking loss to Tennessee, and we were just getting into the Oregon game versus Oklahoma late Sunday night. And in follow-up, of course, I'm sure you know by now, Oklahoma did beat Oregon 4-1 in that game. Desiana Patman homered in the first to give the Ducks a 1-0 lead, and or 1-0 lead in the second, I should say. And that would be all the offense that they had for the rest of the day. So they end up losing. Congrats, though, to the Ducks and all the Big Ten teams that made it this far in the postseason. Been remarkable at this point. Meanwhile, in the NCAA baseball regionals, USC survived the weekend in the Corvallis regional, and they played Oregon State. Again, this is Tuesday's podcast. We recorded Monday night. Last I looked, it was not looking good for USC. They were down 6-0, I believe, in the sixth, right when we took to the airwaves here to tape. So unless it's a ferocious comeback, it's going to be the end of the road there for the Big Ten in the postseason in baseball as well. We'll have an update on tomorrow's podcast as well. So in the meantime, let's talk about recruiting. Football. Look, the Big Ten is still buzzing about USC adding 4-star tight end commit Mark Bowman, who chose the Trojans, chose to be a part of the Trojans' #1 recruiting class, the class of 2026. Chose him over Oregon. It was a heated battle between the Trojans and the Ducks for his services among the other interested schools. So everybody's all excited to talk about that. Other stuff going on in the Big Ten. We've got Brody Jennings. He is a 4-star corner, and he committed to Michigan a while back, but he doesn't sound committed to Michigan anymore. Again, he's been committed since last July, almost a year. He just took a visit down to Miami. And he's got Georgia and Alabama and Florida swooping in as well. But it was his quote over the weekend about his trip to Miami that got my attention. It said, quote, "I don't know if any other school is topping that visit," unquote. Sounds like to me he paid a visit down to South Beach. Just spitballing there. Probably seems like he liked it. Let's talk about the Wisconsin Badgers. Luke Fickell, keeping Wisconsin kids in Wisconsin. That's a goal that has not always been the result, but maybe it looks like he got one. Look, they just hosted like 15 kids this past weekend on a recruiting deal. 3-star linebacker Ben Wenzel. He's from Appleton, Wisconsin, homegrown kid. And he announced that he is going to stay in Wisconsin. He's going to play for the Badgers. He committed to the Badgers. Was looking at Michigan State and Oklahoma and a number of other schools. So he's going. That's a good win for Luke Fickell. Much needed win. He joins 3-star defensive lineman Arthur Scott, who committed as well. But again, the Wenzel deal is important, again, because Fickell's been desperately trying to keep kids in the state. And the top recruit in Wisconsin, offensive tackle Gavin Meyer, he went to Minnesota for PJ Fleck and then actually criticized Wisconsin on his way out the door to Minnesota. He tweeted that this isn't Barry Alvarez's Wisconsin Badgers program anymore. Took a shot at him. 2 other top 5s left. One went out of the state to Indiana, and another one to Iowa. So this was a big deal for Luke Fickell to get this kid to play. More Badger news. They just got a late 2020. We talk about 2026 and a little bit of 2027. How about 2025? That's happening like right now. They got a late 2025 commit from an in-state athlete, Mason Kelly, and he's flipping from South Dakota. So he'll be a preferred walk-on. I'm sure he'll have a chance to earn some sort of scholarship once they figure out roster limits with the new house settlement, which still hasn't come down. That thing was supposed to be down April 7th, and we're going to have all the rules of revenue sharing, and we were going to have roster limits at 105. Actually, it was the roster limits that the judge got hung up on. Says, we make these limits right now. Remember, the players are the plaintiff in this case. She said that we're going to hurt them. There are going to be a bunch of guys losing jobs and roster spots. We need a new plan. So we've got to fold it in over years, if you will. And we haven't heard back yet. Again, that was April 7th. It was supposed to come down. Judge sent it back a week later to iron these things out. We're almost 2 months later. I honestly don't know. I haven't heard a peep what's going on. And now my thinking is that no matter what they decide, they can't. The fiscal year starts July 1. You can't implement this whole house thing. They're going to have to delay it. I haven't heard a single soul say this. You heard it here first. They're going to have to delay it. All the revenue share and the roster limits, it's going to have to start 2026. There's no way they can implement this right now. So we'll see if I'm right. But that's what makes sense to me right now. Anyway, back to Wisconsin for a minute. Class of 2025, Mason Kelly going to be preferred walk-on. He is expected to play wide receiver, but he also plays a quarterback. A lot of quarterback and wideout his senior year of high school. And the Washington Huskies, they're going to Vegas, baby. They got a couple of recruits down there. Jed Fish landed a couple of recruits from Sin City. Dominic Harris, a 6'7", 335-pound offensive lineman from Las Vegas, and also Gavin Day, a 6'3", 190-pound linebacker, safety from Vegas. So Gavin Day is the safety. Dominic Harris, offensive lineman. Both were among the 15 high school prospects who made visits to Washington this weekend and committed to the Huskies. So they like those big, strong offensive linemen there in Washington. All right, coming up, we got our Tuesday tweets. Got a special one at the end. You don't want to miss all that. It is coming up. We will take care of that in just a minute as we continue here on Locked On Big Ten. Tell you about Epicor. The show's brought to you by our good friends at Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, and practicing every detail to get the best results. No one player, no matter how amazing, can get it all done all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, the all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP Solutions has it's created by industry experts to help every day, no matter what they do, make it easier. You can see your whole supply chain a lot easier. Managing logistics is easier. Responding to price changes is easier. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global vision, we'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way. Because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier takes the lead. Discover your success with www.easierwithepicor.com. That's www.easierwithepicor.com. All right. If you are new to our podcast, we always like to have some features here at the end of the podcast. Mondays, we do our top 10 Big Ten observations from the weekend. Tuesdays, we go to Twitter or X. We pull some tweets. It's Tuesday tweets. Wednesdays, we power rank stuff. We got a power ranking ready for you tomorrow. Thursdays, we take a look at the Big Ten Network and we pull out some highlights from their weekend programming for Big Ten Classics and live action. And then we do picks. We did a dry run of pigskin picks last Friday. The Vegas lines are out, thanks to our friends at FanDuel. And we started kind of doing a preliminary on that. So always something special. So let's do Tuesday tweets. If you're on audio only, I'll describe them as best I can if you can't see them. So here we go. First one up on the board. This is from at Barstool Spartans and Jay Batt. He is the new, it's a picture of him with all the green logo. He is the new athletic director. Welcome, Jay Batt, to Michigan State. They made that decision relatively quickly. I was impressed with that. Going to be a good fundraiser for the Spartans. And then this one is hilarious from Michigan State Chief of Propaganda. It is two towering billows of smoke coming from the top of the building at Michigan State. One is green and one is white. It's like the papal smoke at the Vatican. They made a decision. They've hired their next athletic director over there at Beaumont Tower, signaling the new AD. I like that. I thought that was funny. Meanwhile, here is from at Nittany Lions Recruiting. It is a picture of all the kids they brought in for the class of 2026. This is a beautiful picture. You can tell this 2026 class really gets along with each other and have already formed a brotherhood. So there you have it. They're all wearing their either white or blue Penn State uniforms in front of inside the stadium, by the way. So anyway, cool picture from them. A lot of recruiting weekends going on now on campus. And then here is at Michigan Clock, which updates every day on automation. Ohio State has not beaten Michigan in football in 2011 days. Hashtag go blue, hashtag Michigan, hashtag beat Ohio. Those are always out there. Here's another one from at Matt Go Blue. It is, for those of you that don't know, because this is a little older, it is a picture of a VCR tape with a handwritten label, Ohio State's last win versus Michigan. Right? You get the hint. It's so long ago that this was the technology we used once upon a time. I thought it was funny. Meanwhile, here is at Mortimer Go Blue and a picture of a Michigan player looking up. And it says 180 days until Michigan makes it 5 in a row. Go blue. That would be 5 in a row against the Ohio State. We need some equal time on here somewhere. Here we go. From at 9-time champions, Ohio, is a picture of the Titanic with a Michigan flag sinking 6 days, like waiting for Christmas morning. So this is alluding to the fact that the NCAA and Michigan are having their hearing June 6th and 7th regarding Spygate. And then the actual penalty will come down within 45 days, which takes us, I believe, to July 22nd, which is the first day of Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas. So here's your equal time. This is Ohio State's just chomping at the bit, waiting like Christmas morning, thinking there's going to be some big bad news. The hammer going to drop on Michigan. I don't know if it is or not. Here's some more at Ohio State at AZ Buckeye, best in America, and Caleb Downs. All red, wearing looking good here with the red locker room hanging out there. Got the red tights, shirt, gloves, bandana. Here's from at Silver Bulletin. Oh, this is you remember, Tyler Hero, the basketball player for the Miami Heat. This is the younger brother of Tyler Hero, and he is he's coming to Ohio State. Miles Hero. Pretty good. There's a picture of him with the Ohio State logo and stuff around him. Here is from at Badger Recruiting. It says, man, I love this at so many levels and a lot of hashtags. But this is what we're talking about earlier with Wenzel staying in state there with his announcement. He's going to stay from Appleton. He's going to Madison. Going to play for the Badgers. All right, this is from at Arrogant Nation, hashtag Fight on Rusty. Okay, so this is a Trojan site. This is why there's a dig at UCLA in here. From College Football Dude, retweeted. Power 4 teams without an AP top 10 win in the last decade. 3 of the 8 listed here are Big Ten teams. We got Colorado. There's Maryland and Rutgers, SMU, UCLA, Texas Tech. That surprises me a little bit. Wake Forest and West Virginia. All right. Somebody taking shots in the month of June. Oh, here's the special one you had to wait for. This was from at the Locked On Podcast Network. They put it out on their Twitter. Yes, that's me. Congratulations to at Locked On Big Ten host and at Talk Big Ten, Craig Sheeman, who just hit 2 years at Locked On. That's right. Congrats to me. Congrats to you, our audience. Thank you very much. 2 years doing this. All right. And again, when we started 2 years ago, the channel had existed and we had barely over 1,000 subscribers. Man, we are like 18,500 almost. We're making a push to 20,000 subscribers before our 3rd football season starts. So we are excited. Please be a part of that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then share and follow and tell other people that we are out here each and every day. I would appreciate that. But thank you for all of you who have been following us and listening and watching us for the last 2 years and making this thing grow and go. Thank you very much. Many ways for you to interact with us, of course, on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com, where all of our podcasts go from the last 2 years. Plus, also, you can get your favorite teams merchandise, shirts, hats, and T-shirts. There's a link on the bottom for that. All your Big Ten fans out there. Be sure to subscribe for free. Don't miss a single episode. And feel free to go back and catch up on other podcasts if you're not with us every day. Get a second listen, catch up on yesterday as well. I will also invite you to tune into our friend Brian Smith on the Portal Show. Everything transfer portal. Always want to push you that way if you want to check that out as well. So it's the Portal. That's what it's called, the Portal of Brian Smith on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. That'll do it for us. 2 years in the books. We start heading toward year number 3 with you. Thanks for being part of it. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Sheeman. Talk to you tomorrow.